Desire is going to hold you back. Desire is constantly reaffirming that which we don't have, which will continually give you that which you don't want. Did you know that the keys to the universe have always been right in front of you and that they were just waiting for you? And if you landed on this page in this transmission, then you know that you're meant for something more than this and greater than this. And maybe you've done all the things. You've tried all the affirmations, the journaling, the 369 methods. You've done courses and retreats and seminars, and somehow you always feel like it's not quite landing for you. But I've got a revelation for you today. That is because it was always supposed to be that way. And there is a convergence right now of spirituality, technology, science, which is awakening us all to something more profound and greater than we could have ever imagined. And it's the most exciting time to be on planet Earth, because what's happening right now is that humanity, those of us with an elevated level of consciousness, are returning to the sovereign self. We're understanding that there's been a system of inversion that's overlaid what we've called reality. And we're all in this sort of reclamation phase now to take back control of our lives, take back control of our health, take back control of our financial situation, our freedom, our sovereignties. So I want to talk to you a little bit today about how you can become more abundant instantly. And I also want to talk to you today about how this world has been inverted and how you are not going mad, and how it's simply that you've been trying to create outcomes in an insane world that was never meant for you as success. And hopefully by the end of this video, you'll have a much clearer view on this and a much better plan about how you align yourself for the next step in this huge transformation of consciousness that's happening to us all right now. So the first thing is this, that what we understand about manifestation and changing our reality through getting things and acquiring things is completely inverted. And one of my great late mentors, Dr. David Hawkins, who created the map of consciousness, one of the things that used to really baffle me and frustrate me was that on the Hawkins scale, which is a scale of levels of consciousness, the vibration that everything in our universe has, on the very low levels of the map of consciousness was desire. And desire actually sits below anger as a vibration. So the idea that desire is a lower vibration than anger was always very baffling and confusing to me. And when I've taught this in the past, people have really struggled to get on board with that idea that how can desire be a low vibration? Because I'm taught that if I desire things enough and I work hard enough and I get up early enough and I try enough and I strive towards it enough, then it will appear in my reality. And I guess to a degree that rings true, in the sense that you can focus on things, you can acquire them through hard work, through endeavor, through toil. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. But often what will happen is you will manifest things into your life that are an improvement, but they are a distortion of what you're supposed to be aligned with, your most authentic, vibrant, joyous, abundant self. Because you see, this is the thing. Desire has the energy of lack. Because why? And that might be a surprise for you to hear that. But desire is, in essence, you continually and persistently craving that which you don't have. So if you think about that for a second, just let that land. You are continually, persistently craving and desiring that which you don't have. So what it's doing is reinforcing constantly to the universe, to the divine creator, that I don't have this. It's almost like a reinforcement tool for that. So desire is lack. Of course, when people say, come into gratitude for what you have, that can be difficult in the moments, even if we have a relatively stable and nice life and we have things, we have a car and we have a phone and we have some material things. It can be difficult to come into alignment with gratitude. So the first thing to understand is that you have to come out of this energy of desire. Desire is going to hold you back. Desire is basically projecting out to the universe that you don't have what you want, and that's going to continue to happen. Desire is constantly reaffirming that which we don't have, which will continually give you that which you don't want. So our entire system, based on the work system, the entrepreneurship system, the business system, all of the things that we have in place, the fuel of all of those things is desire. Like, get up, get things, do more than everybody else, work harder than everybody else, get that nicer, bag, car, holiday, all for the Instagram. And you see, it's always doomed to fail. People cut corners doing it that way. People manifest things in the wrong energy, so they lose them. You're here to have, do, and be everything and have an amazing, abundant life. Now, you are here to be abundant, but there is a much better way. Let me explain. So I've worked with thousands of people on this very thing. And before I made this video, I thought, well, what would be the one thing that would literally be the thing I would teach above all else that would show people how to immediately create better outcomes in their lives and welcome a better level of abundance and more freedom and more clarity and more purpose? And it would be this. Not only has the system that we've lived in taught us to live in the energy of desire, so we're always desiring things outside of ourselves, it's also taught us and engineered a situation where we're all in dysregulation with our nervous systems. You cannot manifest a new life from an old story. And that's something I tell all my students. You are so abundant and so powerful and such a profound miracle of creation beyond your own comprehension. But it's only when you start to realize that by allowing space within yourself to come. And I used to read years ago the books of Eckhart Tolle, who's just an incredible teacher, of course. And in those books, he would say, you have to come back into the body. You have to bring yourself back into the body. You have to learn to feel. And when I used to read these books, it used to frustrate me because at the time in my spiritual awakening, I was trying to leave the body. I was doing things like trying to do things like plant medicine, trying to get out of the body because I believed that the escape for me was to get out of this body and learn how to project my consciousness elsewhere. But we've been given this vehicle, this miracle of creation that we embody for a short period of time. And your job is to become the alchemist of the body and regulate your nervous system. So the key point here is that a regulated nervous system equals abundance. 100%, that's how the game works. So all of the things that you're doing right now to manifest a better life for yourself, you know, the sleep tapes, the affirmations, the journaling, all of those practices that we've all done and we've tried, they will have some impact because of course you're moving yourself forward and taking care of business better in terms of making your life more positive, but they will be limited in that they can only work to the capacity that you allow through the regulation of your nervous system. So this is it. What you have to learn to do is regulate your nervous system through letting go techniques, through breathing, through just allowing everything to be as it is. Nothing's supposed to be forced. Nothing's supposed to be pushed and pushed until it breaks. And the quickest and most powerful and profound way to regulate your nervous system is to bring yourself into this moment. The past doesn't exist. The future, it's a mere projection of your feelings and belief systems of the past. The only moment we have is this eternal now moment. And your job is to bring yourself into this eternal moment at all times. And what then happens as a consequence of that, this magical thing happens called inspired action, which we'll talk about in another transmission. So in summary, everything you were taught about manifestation, reality creation, creating a better life, it was wrong. This reality we live in, or this facade that we believed was reality, is inverted. It teaches us to desire our way to the things we want. Doesn't work. You're destined to fail. You may have success, but it will fizzle and fall away. In addition to that, the keys to the universe are a regulated nervous system, bringing your nervous system into alignment. And when you can do that, and when you can start to really understand that, it will change the entire fabric of your reality very, very quickly. And I've worked with thousands of people on this, so I know this to be true. I would love to welcome you back to these videos, so please like and subscribe below. There's details below about subscribing to me and working with me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.